We are really excited. I wanted to start by thanking everybody who worked really hard to make this happen. If you didn't know, Ken and Della Hacker's daughter, Kendra Hare, is our graphic designer. She has been working on this tirelessly, really helping us out with that and the sermon graphics for the different sermon series that I do. I wanted to give her a shout out, let her know that if she's streaming on Facebook or if she watches this later, that we definitely wanted to thank her for all of her hard work. We wanted to thank Diane Huguenard for helping us with the beautiful embroidery that you guys will get to take part in if you would like, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And if you haven't gotten online and checked our website out, I'd like to thank Nate for the hard work that he's done on our website, and Bruce as well. Bruce takes a portion of it. Nate has done the front page. It looks amazing, so make sure you visit our website, Withamsville.church, and see the changes that have been going on. Look at all of our social media pages and make sure you see all the different ways that this brand image is going to unify us across digital and physical platforms coming into the future. So we're super excited. And this morning, we're just going to talk a little bit about what this means for our church and why is this so exciting. And if you think, oh, wow, what in the world is going on? I'm going to tell you why we're doing all of this, because this does have a purpose. Why do we need a brand image in the first place? I'll illustrate it for you. I love pictures. I love images. I'm a very visual person, if you haven't noticed. So we're going to play a game. You've got 10 fingers. There are going to be 10 pictures shown up on the screen. You can keep score, and I want to know how many you get right out of 10 of these brand images. But keep your hands down. If you miss the wrong order, it could be really awkward. So just if you're keeping score and you know what I mean, keep your hands down. All right. So here we go. Number 1. Okay, if you know it, shout it out. Very good. Pepsi. Okay, if you didn't get it, you missed one. Next. Jordan, or more technically, Jumpman. This is the Jumpman logo for the Jumpman brand, or Jordan brand, Air brand. You can count all of those options. Those are great. Love it. Very good. Next. Beats. Very good. Beats. Very good. Or you might have seen it knocked off by other people who take it and rotate it and make it other things and change the color and stuff. But yes, Beats. So if you got it, you get a point. Next. Oh, good. I had a pause there. Some people were like, what is that? I have no idea. Red, white, and blue, and a stick. And okay, next, of course. If you miss this, you're not American. Of course, they're worldwide, so if you miss this, you're not human. Okay, very good. And then, very good. That's probably one of the most recognizable brand images on the planet besides McDonald's. Now let's get local. The Reds. Okay, very good. Now this next one's really hard, but I don't want any sort of caffeine withdrawal after I show this on the screen. So, oh, there was some excitement for that. Wow, I didn't realize how exciting that was. Now, just to throw in a zinger, this one is going to ruin everyone's perfect record if you've got a perfect record. So this one's going to be a little bit harder. Don't shout it out right away. Let people think about it for just a second. Okay? This is hard. This is hard. And if you know it, say it. Wikipedia. This is Wikipedia. Very good. That may have ruined someone's perfect record. But just to make us all feel good about ourselves, I'll throw in one more that everyone will love to see. All right. Or not. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know how you feel about them, but that's all 10. So how many got all 10 correct? A lot of people. How about 8 or 9? 8 or 9. That's pretty much everyone else. That's really good. This illustrates how powerful imagery is in our lives. You probably not only saw and recognized the logo, you probably had feelings, especially about this one. Hopefully none of them were sinful. We'll have a confession later. I'm just kidding. But all of these images, they represent something, but they also communicate something. And why we need a brand image is so that people can see something and associate it with something else. And as you start to associate images with a brand, with a product, or with what we offer, which is a service, most literally a worship service, you'll begin to see it and associate it with feelings and emotions. It's powerful. But it's also a tool. When you saw that Starbucks logo, it communicated something to you. Most of you were thinking, I need coffee. But As you learn the image, as you learn about the logo, you learn that it communicates something. And a good brand image always communicates something. A good one does, because people have done a good job getting it out there and showing it to others. And that's exactly what we want you to do, to get out and show people who we are by showing them where you go to church. So let me ask you another question. When you see this, what does this communicate? It might communicate, oh, stay away, stay away, stay away. Oh, we're not going to eat their fake chicken or whatever it is, if you've seen, those horrible documentaries they make. But when you see it, it communicates not only the name of the company, it communicates what they sell. You can probably name many, many items off their menu. You could probably describe what the store looks like, how the drive-through works, or that they have drive-through. You could probably describe what the employees wear. When you walk into one, you know where you are. It is not just a logo, it is a brand image. The same thing for this one. This communicates something. It communicates, buy our coffee, our extremely overpriced coffee. Buy it. You need it. What's really interesting is the Starbucks location that's near where I go and work out at Beachmont Racket Club, they don't even have the name of their store on their building. They only have that. It's not consistent. The one in Eastgate says Starbucks coffee on it, but they have come to recognize, people have come to recognize their brand image so well that they don't even have to put their name on the building. It's just that. People see that and they're like, oh, mermaid, Starbucks, exactly. It makes perfect sense, right? A mermaid with a crown. I don't know if those are fish. I don't know what that is, like electric eels, her hair, I guess. I don't really know. And then, of course, what does this communicate to us? Some of us, it's like heartache, pain, and suffering. Believe it or not, my team missed out on the playoffs because they missed a field goal. So I'm just saying it wasn't a good year for me and the Bengals either. I'm like, come on, guys. Okay, no, never mind. What do all these things communicate? If you think about it, by themselves, these images really communicate nothing. If we take the Bengals logo, fly overseas, and show it to some people in India, they'll be like, it looks like a tiger. They won't have any feelings associated. They won't know it has anything to do with Cincinnati. Starbucks, give or take, McDonald's, they're known worldwide. But the point is, even with McDonald's, even with Starbucks, they had to get their name out. They had to get their name out. People had to see it. They had to associate it with some kind of service. And then every time they see the brand image, they know what kind of product or service they're going to be offered. I don't know about you. Have you ever gone to 2 different McDonald's and got 2 different McFlurries? I mean, they're pretty much the same everywhere. The Big Mac, it's the same every McDonald's you go to. That's not the same with the church. You can't just go to any church and get the same thing at every different church. So we can't just sit back and say, oh, it's a church, just pick a church and just pick any church that you want. We want people to associate Withamsville Church of Christ with something very specific. So I want to tell you what our brand image communicates so that when others ask you, when you put this out, and you will put this out, that's not a question, you have to, no, I'm kidding. But when you put this image out in front of people and they say to you, what does this brand image communicate? They won't say it just like that. They'll say, what does that mean? If I wear this out, they'll say, what does that stand for? What does that mean? That is an opportunity for me to communicate and help them associate this image with a message. So what's our message? What does this say? We've worked very hard on this. A lot of us have worked very hard at this. And so this is what is going to represent who we are. By itself, it communicates nothing. Of course, you could look at it and you can say, oh, there's a cross there. But, by itself, give or take. It could be something. It could be a cross and a circle. We need your help. We need your help to get the message across. So when they ask you, okay, what is this? What does that mean? This is what you'll tell them. First is Christ. To always start with the cross. That's our purpose. That's why we're here. So our brand image, unlike many churches who have no cross anywhere in their image or their logo or whatever, we want the cross to be the center of everything we do. And so when someone says, what does that mean? We'll say, first, it's about the cross. That's why our church does what we do. That's what the W stands for. That's the Withamsville Church of Christ. It stands for Withamsville, obviously. But we want people to associate the church points to Christ. The church points to Christ. And as you see that purple circle, the purple teardrop shape, is an arrow pointing to Christ. It's very simple. It starts with the cross, and then we have the church. The church is nothing without the cross. And after we say we've got the cross, we have the church, we need the mission. This is the mission. The circular form that the cross takes around the church represents our mission. Because we don't just exist for no purpose. We do not exist just to come here on Sundays and fulfill our duty and our obligation to whatever we think our duty and obligation is to check off a box or to sit in a pew or to warm a seat or whatever it is. We are about mission. And that's what this represents. The cross, the church, and our mission. And so people will say, well, what is your mission? Or you could go ahead and give them the mission. These are all very simple explanations of how the circle represents our mission. First, it's being united with Christ. See how Christ circles the church? The cross should be all around us. Everything we do should hit the cross at some point, no matter which direction you take our church in. The cross is all around us. So we're united with Christ. Next is becoming like Christ. We want the cross to circle us so much that we become the cross to people. That people cannot get into our church without coming through the cross. And that's us. We're the church. We want to be Christ. We want to be like Christ. And so the cross circling our church represents us becoming like Christ. And unity with Christ is very similar to being united with Christ. That's the idea of the church and our unity with Him. And then our mission, our actual mission. Living like Jesus by loving and serving all. So the circle represents how we live like Jesus, which is, of course, becoming like Him. And then a circle represents wholeness. All represents everyone in our church wanting to live like Jesus. And how do we do that? By loving and serving everyone. We want everyone to come into our circle, our cross, and to be like Him. So that's why, of course, our official logo is placed out front in the lobby on the big banner. It includes our mission statement because this is what we're about. This is what we are about. We have other various logos that you'll see. This is going to be what the car decal is going to look like. We'll show you that in just a minute. And we've got, of course, the logo that we put on our mugs and our visitors and guests. I didn't mention this at first, but it's actually coming up in just a second. All the guests will receive a mug with some information in it for you to take home. Those will be available for members next week, so be looking for that. It's going to be really exciting. But I come back to this question. Why? Why are we doing all this? How will people know that this brand image represents the cross, the church, and our mission? How are people going to know it? Well, let me ask you this. Why does everyone in the world know what this means? They've seen it and they've had an experience with it. You can't just observe the sign from the street and know what kind of food they serve. You've got to go inside. Of course, some of their signs say serving hamburgers since like 1842 or whatever. But, no, I'm kidding. They haven't been around that long. But, you've got to have an experience. You've got to have an experience where you associate the brand image with the service that's being offered. I mean, how did people learn to pay so much for coffee? How did you learn that? Someone taught you. Someone taught you to pay that much for coffee. And you do it. I don't drink coffee, or I probably would do it too. I promise. I probably would. If I drank coffee, I'd probably go to Starbucks. But how did people learn to pay so much for coffee? How will people know that this is us? Let me tell you. This is how it goes down in Luke 5. When he had finished speaking to the crowd, he said to Simon, because he was on the sea, he was in a boat. He said, "Put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch." But Simon, having been out all night and having tried and tried and tried to catch some fish all night, says to Jesus, "Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything." Haven't caught anything, Jesus. You're not a fisherman. I'm a professional. But right here, Peter lets go of his pride, lets go of everything in him that wants to push back and say, "I don't need this. I don't need your help. I don't need your tools. I don't need your market research. I don't need your brand image, Jesus. I can do this on my own. I don't need your help." Peter lets go of his pride and says, "Because you say so, I'll let down the nets." And what happened was so amazing because they caught such a large number of fish that the nets began to break. They had to call for help just to get the nets out of the water because there were so many fish in the nets that they didn't even know what to do. The catch that these fishermen caught at this moment exceeded their expectations to a level that they had never seen before because they trusted Jesus to let down the nets. And Peter, when he saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and he said, "Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man." He was cut to the heart because of what Jesus had done. And he was astonished at the catch they had made. Then Jesus said to him, "Don't be afraid. From now on, you will fish for people." Welcome to 2017, church. From now on, you will fish for people. We're no longer going to catch things our own way. We're no longer just thinking this is about us and about what we want to do and about what we know. We are going to give it over to Jesus and we're going to go fishing. Think about this. Most churches are absolutely, I know this, I've worked for 5 different churches and I've attended numerous other churches. I have a lot of personal experience with different churches, even from different denominations that I've visited to and have family members who worship at. Most churches stink at fishing. They're really, really bad fishermen and fisherwomen. Fisher people. Most churches are really, really bad at fishing because let me explain to you how most churches fish. Okay? Most churches, well, I'm trying to think if, do churches advertise much? Not really. I mean, do most churches have like a strategic marketing plan? Not really. And you know what? To be honest, do most churches experience measurable and consistent growth? Not really. You want to know why? It's because of the way they fish. They don't experience growth. They don't experience this net coming into the boat with all these fish in it because, frankly, they don't even have a net. Most churches get in their boat, they sail out in the middle of the sea, and they pray, "God, send fish into my boat." Somebody got it. Heard one person laughing. They probably fish. Imagine, guys, who have ever gone fishing before. You get up in the morning early, you put on your fishing clothes, you got your fishing boots on or whatever you wear when you go fishing, you got your fishing poles, you got your all your stuff, you stick it in the car, you drive out to wherever you're going to fish at, and your dad or your grandpa gets out of the car and you start walking towards the boat. And you say, "Grandpa, don't we need the fishing gear?" "Oh no, son, don't worry about that stuff. That's just for show. We're going to get in the boat. We're going to catch some fish." I'm like, "All right, how's that going to work?" So we get in the boat. We row out to the middle of the lake, and he's like, "What do you do?" "All right, son, pray. Pray. God will make those fish jump in our boat." Every church does an absolute terrible job of fishing. Because we sit back and we think, you know what? If they want to come, they'll come. If God wants them to come here, God will convict their heart. He'll inform them of the Withamsville Church of Christ located at 846 Ohio Pike in Cincinnati at 45245. He'll even open their iPhone, turn on their GPS, and give them directions. Then they'll just show up, they'll come in, and then, woohoo, we got a fish. It's not how it works. Jesus didn't tell Peter, from now on, sit around. People will come to you and ask you what you know about the gospel. Think about if businesses went fishing like churches do. They'd go out of business. If businesses really sat around and said, I don't need to go tell anybody about us, they'll find out on their own. I'll put my sign on the street. People will drive by it. They know we're here. They'll come if they're interested. Bankruptcy, that's what that's called. They just wouldn't be in business. But Jesus told Peter, from now on, you will fish for people. That is the mission of the church. That is what we have to do. That's why Paul went fishing in Romans 10 when he said, brothers and sisters, my heart's desire and prayer to God for this city is that they may be saved. Say amen, church, because this is the mission of the church. If there's any reason to say amen, it's because this is what we want to do. My heart's desire and prayer to God for Cincinnati is that they may be saved. Amen, church. This is it. And guess what? If this isn't our desire, if this isn't our heart's prayer and desire, then we are not the church. We're a club. We're a club. We're just hanging out, waiting for the second coming. You know, this must be our heart's prayer and desire as a church. This must be why we exist, to go fishing. In the Restoration Movement, which is just a big term that means a group of churches that led to the churches of Christ, there was a church that came out of it in 1962 called the Southeast Christian Church, located not far from us in Louisville. The Southeast Christian Church started in 1962. I think that's right. I was getting a little confused with all the numbers. Started in 62 with about 54 people. Okay? So just about 50 years ago, 55 years ago, give or take. 40 years later, they had 15,000 people at one location. 40 years later. It was around 2002. They held on for a while and they noticed that their growth had stagnated, that they weren't reaching people anymore. They just sort of plateaued. And finally they came up with this idea that, maybe we've maxed out the number of people who are we're just going to bring in the way we're doing our ministry right now. Maybe we need to do something differently. They said it's no accident, this is a writer on a blog that wrote about their growth. He said it's no accident that Southeast is seeking to connect with people where they already congregate, at shopping centers, theaters, and stores. They're going out and trying to meet people and to spread its message on social media. Then their senior pastor said this, we wanted to go out there where more unchurched people are, rather than expecting them to come to us. We want to go to them. And from 2007, when they said this, when they said, we're going to go out, we're going to start planting churches, they added an additional 10,000 people to their body from 2007 to 2017. 10,000 people in 10 years. Talk about a net with so many fish in it that as they're pulling on it, they just can't even get it out of the water. Paul says, my prayer to God for Cincinnati is that they may be saved. So do you love Cincinnati? Yeah, we love the Bengals. Yeah, we love the Reds. We love the zoo. We love the Children's Museum. We love all these cool things about Cincinnati, but I'm not talking about that. Do you love the people? Do you love your server when you go to a restaurant and she waits on you? Do you love the person who's cleaning the toilets wherever you're at that time? The person who pushes the cart around Walmart, who's having trouble reaching the item at the top shelf? Do you love these people? Do you love the guy who cut you off on the road? Do you love the people who work in public service and who serve as the firemen and the police officers? And do you love your kids' school teachers? Do you love these people? Because if we do, our heart's prayer and desire for them is that they may be saved. And we will go out and we will go fishing for them. And if our love is for this city, and if our desire is to save this city, we can't leave the fishing gear in the car. We've got to take something with us, and we have to be equipped to fish. And that's what we're going to do today. Will you go fishing? We want to equip you with something that we're proud of as a brand image, but it's just a tool. It's just a tool that communicates a message. We wanted to communicate a message. So remember this. This is our vision card. You're going to talk about this tonight in your home groups. Talk about which area that you want to focus on in the new year. But if you look at number 2, this is all about number 2, step 2. And if you guys who come and you're here today and you come on a regular basis and you've got number 1 down, you're like, I show up every week. If not, I show up most weeks, which is what we ask you to do if you're plugged into a home group or at least thinking about it. Make that step and commitment as a disciple of Jesus to be a witness, to love your neighbors, to love Cincinnati, and invite them. Go fishing. Invite them to church. We want to equip you to fish for people. So right now, I've got ushers in the back who've got things. I want them to start handing these things out as I talk about them. So guys in the back, if you're ready, go ahead and come on down. You're going to get a little packet. You could take it, look at it. I want to explain to you what's in it. You're going to leave with 3 ways to go fishing today. 3 ways to go fishing. First, if you don't want it, leave it in the pew. If you don't want it, leave it in the pew, please. These are things that we are providing to you as tools to help you go fishing. So if you don't want it, leave it in the pew. The first thing I want to point out is that there's a sermon postcard for our new series that starts next week called Make Room. This is a series on prayer. It's a series for anyone who has any faith in God at all. People who are new to the faith and new to Christ, obviously still invite them, still bring them. They can learn a lot about how to build their faith in Jesus. But this series is focusing on people who have faith in God, who at least have heard of prayer. And so that's where we want to target people with this series. Fill out the postcard, write a note, take it to your neighbor. You've seen these before. This is nothing new. We do postcards for a lot of our series. Next, this is where it gets real. In the foyer, we're going to have these every week for the rest of eternity until Jesus comes back. We might change the design at some point, but unless our building moves, I want every person in this room to carry one of these in their pocket everywhere they go forever. Forever and ever. Have one in your pocket. That means you might need an extra. The reason why: this gives every important detail about our church. Contact info on the front, map on the back with service times. So when you get into a conversation and they say, what does the logo mean? Well, it's about the cross. It's about the church. It's about our mission. Would you come and visit us? Here, this is all you need to find us. Tells them exactly where we are. Shows them our logo. They can make the association. It's another impression that you can have on people. In fact, if you want to leave these for servers at restaurants, if you want to give these to people as you walk around, do it. Hand these out to people face to face. Visit us cards. If you need more, they're in the lobby, obviously. But these are going to help you connect the dots. It's not just about telling people Withamsville Church of Christ loves Jesus. It's about getting them here. That's how you do it. Now, if you want to cast your net out to a larger audience, I would love for you to put our logo on your car. I would love this so much. It would be so exciting to see going into Walmart, 3 or 4 Withamsville Church of Christ cars out in the parking lot, or people driving down the street nicely and appropriately and following all of your local and state laws. Please. as you have this decal on your car? I don't want to be known as the church of the lead foot, but okay, exciting news. You don't have to put it on your car yourself. We have 5 teams of people who are going to be freezing cold outside after church with Windex. All you need to do is hand them the logo and say, I would like it right here or right here. They go on glass. They're vinyl. They're not permanent. Please just give it a shot. Please just give it a shot. If you've never put a decal on your car before, this is not a bumper sticker. It looks really sharp. If you want to do it yourself, I've made a movie with Mike and Barry. All right, would you hit the lights for me, Bruce, and make sure the computer volume is turned on for me? Are we good? All right. This is how to install your decal.
Okay, we're here today to show you a demonstration of how to install your brand new Withamsville Church of Christ car decal. But first, guys, we need a car.
Let's look around. Well, there's lots of them.
Here we are at Great Clips. What do you think about this one?
No, that's
No, I don't like that one. How about this next one?
It's got too many stickers on it already.
You're right. We already have a Planet Fitness logo and
the truck.
The truck would be good, but I like this one. This one's real dirty.
Oh, that's extra dirty. They can clean their windshield. Yeah, that's extra dirty.
Okay, so here's how it works. There are 4 steps to the process. The first step is cleaning, so we have a cleaner here.
So, first, you take your spray.
Oh, well.
And you spray.
Do that. Oh, well.
We can, okay.
That is filthy. This person should wash their car more often.
Yes, very much.
It would make the application a whole lot simpler. All right, second, you take the logo and you peel the backside of it off, revealing the logo.
Yes, very good. Very good. Peeler.
Excellent.
Step 4 is applying the logo, and I'm the applicator. So you make sure you get the logo very straight. So let's get it very straight. We don't want to mess this person's car up. That would be really awkward. And then start at the top and press down firmly. Rub the logo until it's stuck on really good. You don't want this person taking this off anytime soon. Okay, and then the final step.
Then, with lots of appeal, you come back in. And wait for it.
Here it goes. Very nice.
Job well done.
Very nice. Okay, well, that's a wrap.
How many ministers does it take to put on a car decal? Obviously more than 3, since I got it wrong. I was like, this is stuff. Okay, anyway, it was really fun. We'll post that online. Y'all can watch it again and again later. Here's why we're doing this. This is why I wanted to do this and why the ministry staff wants to do this, why the elders are behind this, why the deacons are behind this. I believe in what we're doing. I believe in us as a church so much. I believe we have a great product. That product revolves around an asset. An asset that I believe is the most important asset to gaining people and keeping people in this church. An asset that I believe is the public face of this church that is going to make the biggest difference in reaching people and getting them to make this their church home. That asset that I believe is the most important asset that we have as a church is you. It's not me. It's you. You might think that, the preaching, the guy up on front, on stage at the front is a big selling point, but I'm not. You are. You make the contact. You make the friend. You make the invite. When they come, you talk to them. You're nice to them. You welcome them. You love them. People stay at churches because they connect with people. You are going to make the biggest difference at us reaching people as we get the word out. So it's time to go fishing, church. If you're taking notes, if you have your notes out, I want you to write down the 3 questions that revolve around this whole fishing endeavor. Who are we? Where are we? And why are we? These are three very important questions that we're helping you with by giving you these tools that you are needing to answer, that you need to answer, that we are needing to answer for the city of Cincinnati. Who are we? Where are we? Why are we? So let me explain how this works. Who are we? We have shirts available. Now, the main point of the polo shirts, these are short sleeve, obviously, is for our greeters. I really want to encourage everyone who serves as a greeter to get a shirt. And I also want to say, if for some reason you can't afford the shirt, let us know. We don't want money to stand in the way of anyone getting a shirt. Someone will help us out, will sponsor, will donate, will cover it somehow, some way, it doesn't matter. But we really want greeters to be able to wear these as you come in, as people see us, and can know who to talk to get information. T-shirts, our teens are wearing the T-shirts today, so you can see those. These are going to be worn when we go out and do service projects at elementary schools, at different places, as we have our community giveaway, as we go to Kumo, and as we go different places and do things as a church. We'll have our shirts on that show where we're from and what we're about. Has our website on the back, Withamsville.church. And then, of course, the car decal is one of the best ways for you to answer the who are we. People will see it. They will hear the name. They'll know who are we. I want this everywhere, all over the city. All over the city. And for guests, mugs are free. And members, we'd like to ask for a $4 donation to cover the cost of the mug. They'll be available next week for all the members to get and to take home with you. And so guests, please pick up a mug as you leave. Those will be available. If you're a greeter, make sure you get a mug for the visitors and the guests. Where are we? So the who are we is easy. You wear the logo, you walk around, it shows people, gets exposure. Who are we? The where are we? You just give them one of the Visit Us cards. So where is your church located? Well, here you go. Why don't you come visit us? Tell me about your church. I'd love to. We're a church that believes in Jesus Christ. That's why our church is here, is to serve Jesus. And our goal is unity. Our mission is living like Jesus by loving and serving all. Hey, why don't you come give us a shot? Check us out online or on Facebook and come visit us. Where are we? We're right there. 1 mile east on the left as you exit 65 off 275. You can find us from anywhere, but that's helpful. And then why are we here? I just answered that. Sounding a little redundant. Christ, the church, and mission. Who are we? Where are we? Why are we here? Write it down. Let this be our fishing plan as we go forward in 2017. Use these tools. If you have more ideas of how we can use this logo to reach people, use our brand image to reach out and get our name out there, we've got some ideas. We've got some more surprises in store for this year as we move forward with more ways of reaching the city and helping people associate this brand image with who we are. But you are the biggest asset. We need your help. And if our heart's desire and prayer to God is that this city of Cincinnati may be saved, we have to go fish. I've said this before and I'll end right here. We cannot have an influence until we have an audience. We can't go fishing. We can't go out on the lake and expect the fish to jump in the boat. We have to go fishing, get the fish, bring them in. Then we can have an impact. We can share the gospel. And last but not least, we do have a tattoo artist in the lobby if anyone wants to really get going with the logo. Parental consent required for people under 18. That's a joke. I'm so joking. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. With that said, we offer an invitation. If you have any questions about being saved, about taking on Jesus, questions about baptism and how to make Jesus the Lord of your life, we want to answer those questions for you. If you're ready to take on Jesus in baptism, we offer that every week. We are a church who believes in what we do, and let's go out and start fishing.